Hi, it's Blake here from Dexmold and Dexmachine. Just going to go over the basics here on how to use the new interface for the Dexmachine CNC hotwire foam cutter. Alrighty, so the first thing you might like to do when you open her up is to load a file to be cut out. So you could use the file folder here, or you could go to File, Load G-Code, and then find your file. Yeah, and then it'll come in here. You have this viewing pane here to see the cut, and you could scroll in with your mouse wheel and right mouse click to move it around. And if you get off plane here, you could double click with your left mouse button and you can mouse wheel in and right mouse click to get it all arranged. Okay, and then when you have your wire all lined up with your block of foam and you're ready to roll and your file's loaded, you could, if your axes aren't already all zeroed out, if they're kind of all in a random place here, you could just go and hit the 0 button to get that into the 0, location. That looks like a perfect place to start your cut. We're right on the bottom lined. These crosshairs are lined up with the bottom of the pieces, just a little bit off of the side of the cut there. That's how we like to draw it, just so you don't cut into the piece when you cut your foam. And let's see here. So yeah, if you had all lined up and you're ready to cut, you could hit that green button. That'll start your cut there, start going through the file. And on the newer models, it has automatic hotwire power supply, so it'll turn on your hotwire before you start your cut. And also, if you'd like to turn on the wire or the hotwire power supply, you can use this button when you're not cutting or when you're jogging around. If you'd like to turn it on for some reason, you can use this button. Let's see here. So some more features are, oh yes, we probably should have went over this one first. When you want to line your wire up with the block of foam, normally I jog it in. I use the A. So for the Z and A axis, one side of the machine, I use the A and D buttons to go left and right, and the W and X buttons to go up and down. And then the other side of the machine, we have the X and Y. So the X would be left and right, and the arrow cursors in the lower right-hand side of your keyboard would be left and right and up and down. And you can kind of get your wire close to the start position for your cut, and then I would hit the offline button. That takes away the power from the motors, and then you can line it up perfectly with your block of foam. That's normally what I like to do to start a cut, and then you would zero it after that point and turn your wires back on. And another thing to note is in the lower left here, it's kind of like a reset button. This comes on a lot of times when you do things like turn the machine online and offline. And you're not going to be able to do much with this button on. I don't think you can zero axes or move the axes or start a cut or anything, pretty much anything at all, unless you just click this button, get it out of reset mode. Let's see here. Some other things are, if you'd like to jog your machine around at a different speed, you can click on this and change it to a different speed. 30% would be right around 30 inches a minute. That would be a good speed for jogging or cutting through a block of foam manually. You could slab a block or something like that. And then if you're cutting and you'd like to increase the speed, you could use these buttons here to increase the speed that the wire is traveling through the foam. This would be pretty rarely used. We don't use it very often, but there are situations where it could be handy. I just would really recommend that when you're done using it, you reset it so someone doesn't come along and start a new cut, because it will start the next cut at whatever speed you set it at. So I think I've done that before. Yeah, one other really useful tool is, okay, say you've cut out this row of shapes. You've come back and it'll go up to -1 right around there. So you hit this button to rewind your file to the start, and then you want to jog down just a little bit more than the height of these pieces to line up your next row. So you go to click on that and you go G1. It just you just got to enter G1 or it doesn't work. So we're going to do the y-axis. So that'd be the up and down on one side. We're going to go -4.2. And A, so that would be the up and down on the other side. We're going to go -4.2. So that's just a little bit more than the 4-inch shapes we're cutting. So we're going to go feed rate 30. That would be the speed. And then you hit enter. So then the wire will drop down 4.2 inches. So you don't have to measure it manually. It'll just measure it automatically for you. You can also go down at a faster speed than 30 inches a minute too. I just picked an arbitrary speed. And then you have to zero it out. And then you're pretty much ready. You're lined up with your foam for the next cut here. So you don't you do have to zero out the A's so that the Y and the A so that you come in lower than the previous row, but you don't want to zero out the X and the Z. You just hit start and it'll take that position into account before it starts the next cut there. So okay, one other couple of things you might find useful would be the elapsed time. Once it's done a cut, it'll show you the time. To let you know when to be back to start the next cut, I guess. And then might help you with some estimating if you want to just double check, make sure things are taking the speed that or the amount of time that you'd expect. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, the go to zero button. If you're kind of close to zero with the wire and you want to move back to zero, you can hit this one. You got to be a little bit careful with it because I think it moves the left and right and up and down separately. So if they're really far apart, that could stretch out the wire. So it'd move, say you're 20 inches away from your 0 point, and if you hit go to 0, it's going to move the x-axis first and then the y, so it could stretch out your wire. But it's really handy if you're kind of close and you want to move back to 0 without doing it manually. You could just do it with the machine. Yeah, I think that's all the main points. Basically the basic stuff to get you cutting there. Yeah, if you have any questions or if there's anything else you want me to cover, drop it in the comments there. Hopefully this is helpful for you. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.